30 minutes of power.
Welcome to 30 Minutes of Power, a podcast dedicated to educate, encourage, and inspire godly people to use their power to empower others. Join your hosts, Jori O'Neale and Nicole Salter, as they share powerful insights on how you can use your God-given talents and gifts to make a positive impact in the world. Welcome everyone to 30 Minutes of Power, TOP, your one-stop shop for all things encouraging, inspiring, and entertaining. Today we have an incredible guest with us. She is the author of the children's book, Monkey in Cloud, Luann Suhr. Thank you so much for joining us today. How are you, friend? My new friend?
Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure to be here.
All right. So could you just share a little bit about yourself for those who have no idea who you are, but they're surely, just as surely as I was, so quickly gonna fall in love with you. I'm doing a play on her last name, just in case you're wondering why I keep saying this. It's probably gonna happen the whole interview, so guys, just get used to it. Tell us a little bit about yourself, Luann.
About me as a writer, I'm gonna go with that because otherwise there's too much stuff and you won't fit it in 30 minutes. So I've been writing since I was a kid. It's always been my dream to publish, and it took me a long time to get here, but I did it. So very excited about that. Yeah, very excited.
And so I usually play in the realm of nonfiction, spiritual, right? And so I'm very interested. What inspired you specifically to write a children's book, and then this specific children's book? Because you could have written about anything, I'm pretty sure.
In general, I have the mindset of like I want to make the world a better place, and it's probably better to start with children because adults are more set in their ways. Maybe eventually I can convince some adults to change their ways and be more positive people, but right now, I'm working with the children level. Yeah.
And what inspired you specifically to write Monkey in Cloud?
I had just become an aunt for the first time, and my niece was named Stella. And so I have two characters in the book. Both are Stella and Stella Rain. One is my grandmother and one is my niece, because Stella means star. So I put two stars there. And then her as a baby. Babies are kind of crazy and like, bleh, right? So I called her Slobber Monkey. So I got the monkey, but I mean the monkey in the story isn't slobbering, but I mean that's a baby thing, I guess. Not really all monkeys slobber. I don't know if any monkeys slobber. Yeah, but Slobber Monkey, that's her nickname.
Awesome. So what background do you have? Because usually most people, they write from their own personal experiences. I know you said that you were inspired to write about these specific characters because of your family, but what lends your lens, I guess, toward children, making the world a better place? Like, do you have any background or experience with children, either of your own or professionally?
I have taught children. When I wrote this book, I was teaching children in Korea. Actually, I was proctoring an exam. But it's like for elementary school kids and like just a regular exam, not like a state exam or something like that. Nothing like, really like hardcore. Yeah, and you're proctoring, like, can't stay awake. My mind kept working. My children were very creative in South Korea, and I don't know, they inspired me.
So when you say you would proctor an exam in South Korea, did you travel there? Is this on Zoom? Like, were you on WebEx? Like, how do you?
Oh, I was living in South Korea, like teaching English over there.
Oh, okay. So tell us more about this. This is like a curveball. Okay, so international traveler. book writer. I'm sure probably you got slobbed on a lot by the slobber monkey. So tell us about
Slobbed on.
how did you land in South Korea teaching? Like, was there a posting on LinkedIn? Like, how'd you get to South Korea?
Well, I definitely didn't flap my wings. Um, I took a flight there. Like, I don't know. I was originally teaching in Kyrgyzstan in Central Asia, and then after that, I was supposed to have a job teaching English in Spain, but that fell through. So then I was like, well, let's go somewhere else. Where can I go? And I remembered that when I was in South Korea, they had some good fried chicken. So I was like, okay, let's move there. And that is a true story. I travel for food.
Okay, so all right. What I feel like this is an exam. Let's start at the beginning.
I told you if I start at the beginning, there's gonna be more than 30 minutes.
We're gonna do this gradually because each time you tell me a little bit more, now I'm more curious. I'm like, wait a minute, hold on.
That's good. There'll be a follow-up podcast.
So let's get to the place where Luann is growing up and she decides, I want to be a world traveler and taste all the foods in the universe.
No.
How can I do it? Let's become an English teacher. Like, how did you become the English teacher? Can we start?
You gotta go through a lot to get there. It's like a lot. Because I didn't become an English teacher until like 2012, and I graduated like 10 years before. So there's a lot of stuff in between. Like, I never thought about traveling internationally or anything like that before.
So this is to inspire, educate, and encourage people to go ahead and follow their passions, to pursue their dreams. I want to hear, I want to know. Like, I graduated. There was some space in between graduation and education. So like, I know why I went into education. It was good hours, good money, stable life, raise a family, right? So
totally not my reason.
So let's talk about it. That's what the podcast is for. We just trying to explore and learn. I want to learn. I want to understand, right? I got the book. I know why you wrote the characters. I know what your muse was for the book. I got that part. But now you're telling me that you done taught in half places I can't even pronounce. I ain't even gonna try embarrass myself. And this was the second or third place you were. So how did we start with teaching English in other countries? How did that start? Let's just start right there.
Okay, after I quit my job as a flight attendant, I went back to school to try to get into nursing, but then wait, you're telling me to tell the story and then you're cutting it off.
Flight attendant, hold on. You are a children's author. Okay.
That doesn't mean that's the only thing I am.
I understand that, but like,
come on, you gotta get your stories from somewhere.
All right, clearly, all right. You know what? We're gonna start from the big flight attendant. Let's start at flight attendant. I'm thinking we're gonna start at book writing, and now we got to go like 15 years prior. Flight attendant. Let's start at the flight attendant.
It's not 15 years, but okay, sure. So when I was a flight attendant, I traveled to a lot of different countries. And then after that, somebody kind of like made me want to go back to school because I didn't want my brain to get mushy. That's the nicest way to say that. I didn't want my brain to get mushy. And then I went back to school and I was like, oh, I want to go back to school for nursing, but then I couldn't get into the nursing program. But while I was studying, I took a Russian class. But it was supposed to be intensive Russian for native speakers when I'm not a native speaker. But I was like, okay, it's for beginners, so I can do it. And it's just like more work. But I was kind of annoyed that I didn't learn Russian. So then I was like, okay, well, when I was a flight attendant, I was in Kyrgyzstan and the food was nice and the people were nice. The lamb was cheap. And very nice nature. And I was like, okay, I'm going to go there and I'm going to learn Russian. So then I was like, okay. I'm not sure if that's a good idea. Let's sleep on it. And so I woke up the next day and I was like, yep, still want to go. So I booked my ticket for 3 months out, and then like I was like, okay, now how do I go live there? How do I work there? Like all that stuff. Like I have like, okay, I have a deadline. People work great with deadlines, right? So like I was like, okay, I have 3 months. I gotta figure out everything. Like how do I get my visa? How do I do this? How do I do that? And then yeah, like it was a very intensive 3 months because I had to get my teaching English certification. I had to figure out my visa. I actually took the Chinatown bus from New York to DC and back on the same day just so that I could get my visa. I went to the embassy, got my visa, came back, and then flew out. Yeah. And that's how I was in Pakistan.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
You can tell I'm a storyteller.
I can tell you probably have a lot of experiences because that just seems very spontaneous. Super like
What do you mean? I waited a day.
I went to school. I wanted to learn Russian. I was upset I didn't learn Russian. So I remember when I was in Russia that they had cheap land. They
It
had
wasn't Russia.
food.
Kyrgyzstan. Central Asia. Central Asia.
What you said?
Just Central Asia. Central Asia. It's a former USSR country, and like if you can't say it, it's all right.
So wait, so okay, former USSR country in Central Asia that speaks Russian?
Yeah, they speak Russian and Kyrgyz. Because if it's former USSR, automatically they speak Russian. Because former USSR.
But Russia don't exist no more.
Former USSR, like so all the countries.
Oh, got
USSR.
you. Yeah, see, this is now
So they
turned into a history lesson. Love it. Okay, so clearly, I
well,
don't
you
know
are in education.
I teach gym. I don't teach countries. I teach the people how to play stuff from the countries, but I don't have to know.
Oh, okay. Okay.
See, it's a little different. My state exam is running in circles. It's fantastic. I love it. I don't have to know no language, just numbers. That's the universal language, numbers. I love it. It's fantastic. Okay, I digress. You upset that you didn't learn Russian, so you went to a country that spoke Russian fluently so that you can immerse yourself in the culture and officially learn Russian.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't think that's spontaneous?
No, because I waited till the next day. I slept on it. Come on. And then I had the 3 months planning period. Come on. Like if it was spontaneous, I would have just been like, yeah, all right, I'm here. Now how do I stay here?
All right. Let's go back to the book. You in your quest to become a published author, which you have successfully done, you also kind of journaled the process.
I wrote an article about it when I was like almost all the way through, because I know I didn't know what I was doing, and I had to do a lot of research, and I was like, maybe I can help somebody else. I'm all about helping people. I'm like, make the world a better place. Like, hey, like you want to share your story? Like, was it last week? I met some lady and she was telling me about how she wanted to share her story, but she wasn't sure how to do it. And I was like, oh, I can help you. Well, I also have an article. So
this article, a lot of people, they go through experiences and then they keep it to themselves.
Yeah.
But you were putting it in the article, you shared the process, you shared your experiences with the group that you're a part of, which is how we got connected. Because if you didn't share at the group, they would have said, hey, maybe Jori can help you with your marketing situation, right? And so we got connected that way. But what gives you that? I don't know if you're aware that some of your movements are very courageous. Are you not aware of this? Is this news to you?
Movements crazy. Courageous.
No, you don't believe that it's not courageous to go to a country you're not from, don't know anyone, speaking a whole different language that you clearly didn't know fluently, because if you had, then you wouldn't have went, because the class would have satisfied this itch you had. You don't think that's courageous?
I,
No?
you know, just fun. I like having
Okay.
new experiences. I like meeting people. So, yeah. And whether it's good or bad, it's still a story.
Well, then there's that. All right. So, since you enjoy sharing and making the world a better place, we have a lot of listeners who are aspiring writers. They're aspiring a lot of things. And so the whole intention of this is, in the 30 minutes it takes people to get to their job, that they feel more empowered by the time they get there and a little more knowledgeable. Now, we've learned Central Asia has countries that speak Russian because they're former part of the USSR, and the USSR has been disbanded. So it's no longer the big old Russia. Now it's Russia and then a whole bunch of homies around Russia who all speak Russian. So you know that, people, we learned that together. That was
Oh,
communal learning.
this is a very educational drive to work then. I love it.
If a human was listening to this podcast and they said, hey, I've had a lot of experiences. I like stories. I like new adventures. I like meeting people. I like going fun places. Hey, maybe I should write a children's book. What
Why
advice
not?
would you give them?
Write it.
Okay, it ain't that easy. Come on.
Why is it not that easy? If you could pick up a pen, pick up a pen. If you can like type. You can text. I mean, there was that dude in the, what is it, the Iron Lung? He did it with what, like a pen and a straw or something, and he just like typed the whole thing. Like,
Where would they start? Where should they start? Should they start with reading your article? Is that a good place to start?
with first,
Yes.
like what? Huh?
Is
Oh,
it
they can start. Yeah, they can read my article, but like that's going to help them with the publishing process. With the actual writing, the first thing you need to do is just write. It doesn't matter even if you don't have like a set idea, just write. And eventually you'll be like, oh yeah, maybe that's what I want to write about. Like, or you'll notice like a running theme in your writing, and then you'll be like, oh yeah, that's actually a great topic for me to write about. I know about this, or maybe I want to explore this part. Like, what is it? NaNoWriMo, the national, what is that, National Novel Writing Month. Like, their goal is for people who've never even written to be like, yeah, I'm gonna write 50,000 words. I mean, that's kind of hard to write 50,000 words without like about the same thing. But I mean, like, if you're just writing to write and then like eventually you get to it, you got to start somewhere. Like, the first thing I wrote in 5th grade was like a gnat on a bat on a rat. I don't know what like kind of horrible poem thing it was, but I was like, everything has to rhyme because it's a poem. And like, these are all the words I know that rhyme. And it was horrible. But now I have a book. And like, the book makes sense. The poem, not so much, but the book makes sense.
so? If I am not in 5th grade,
Now, 5th
because
grade, like 5 years old, I like a kid.
but there's a big span of time between 5th grade bat rat cat hat poem and monkey cloud published author.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean there has to be for you, because you're starting at an older age where you have, you know, language skills. You know, you have experiences, you have things to write about.
So
when you're
what
5 years
I
old,
hear
not so
you
much.
saying is to write and it'll come to you.
I mean, maybe it won't right away, but you gotta keep writing for it to happen eventually.
Okay. This must be like fiction advice. This is for fiction?
No, because you could
General?
be anything. Like, I mean, I could be like, what is it? You know, like how people do like the AI prompts and like for AI images, and they're like, I want to see an elephant in a top hat or something weird. And then they're like, okay, let me write a story about that. Whatever, like that could be anything. Or you could just write about your personal experience and like a diary. And like there are plenty of famous like diary style kind of things. So depends on what's easier for you or what you're more passionate about.
So what I hear, I just keep saying what I hear because I want to repeat what it sounds like it's saying to me, a human with ears. That if I wanted to be an author, the first place to start would be to start writing.
Yeah.
There you have it, folks. I mean, listen, she just cracked the code. She cracked the code, guys. Like,
It's people make things out to be more complicated than they are. Like there's voice to text now. You can even just like speak and then like edit that later. So there's not really anything stopping you but yourself.
wow. That's a mic drop moment. I wish I could take this off and drop it now because
Wait, hold on.
I don't know if that counts. I don't know if that counts. Listen,
The only mic I have.
You are like probably legitimate, like a ball of joy. Like I feel like if I shook you and then put you in a small container and then release the top, that you would like a soda bottle, like just bubbling all over the place, just like infecting everything around it in a good way.
That's my next book. I'm not kidding. My next book is The Happy Virus.
The happy, oh my gosh, okay.
But I wrote it pre-COVID. It has nothing to do with COVID.
Roger that. Roger. People are still going to associate, but it's okay. So if people would love to know how they can get in contact with you, how they can follow you, how they can learn more about your escapades and the bubbly, loving, joyful person that is Luann, where do they go? How do they find you?
There's an about the author thing. I don't know if that has my link directly, but my LinkedIn has my married name, so probably not gonna find me that way. I would suggest Goodreads because I signed myself up as Goodreads author, so that's probably the easiest way to contact me is through there.
Okay, Goodreads. And if they wanted to meet you in person and get a copy of your book signed, where could they find you at?
The next event that I know of that I'm doing is the Indie Fest with you.
Indie Author Fest, August 30th in Baldwin Harbor, New York. Yes, I do remember this event. Luann will actually, she will be one of our featured authors at the event. We're super excited to be able to host a group of local authors. So if you are in the New York area, and if you're looking for a fun event to bring your children to, we have children's authors. We have authors who are speaking to parents. We have anime authors actually coming and blessing us with their time and their talent. And so Luann will share some more of her stories on stage, and you'll get to take pictures, rub elbows, and get your book personally signed by her. So we're super excited to have her on the podcast, super excited to have her at Indie Author Fest on August 30th. Starts at 5 o'clock. It is free. Did I mention it's free? It's free. It's free. Please come. Come one, come all. It should be an incredible time of encouragement and community. So, Luann, any parting words that you would like to give? You are a storyteller. What is one message you would love to tell parents concerning children? Like there's a message that you had with this book specifically. What is that message? I want you to have the last word.
Can it not be about the book specifically, just the message to the parents?
You, Luann, it's your last word, boo-boo. Whatever you want, that's it.
Okay. Do not stifle children's creativity. That's very important. Very, very important. You might think that somebody is acting out, but maybe they just need a creative outlet. So find out what creative thing that they can be channeled into. Like they're acting out, maybe it's like they need to like express it through art, through writing, through poetry, through I don't know, maybe learning about robots. Like it could be anything, but like, like robotics, yeah, engineering, you're laughing at me, but that's possible. Just something, because sometimes you're like smarter and you can't focus and like, you're acting out because of that. Sometimes you're acting out because you can't release your creativity or you feel stifled, and that's very important. So like, let children be who they are. Don't stifle them.
I love that. So let children be and don't stifle them. And if you're an adult who feels stifled, unstifle yourself.
Yes.
Go out, create, imaginate, and do all of the things. Imaginate. Yes, I make up words all the time. You should stick around.
You're the new Shakespeare.
I will come up with an entire new dictionary. The number of words that I've created on this show is unfathomable. Absolutely.
There you go. The new Shakespeare.
Well, we bid thee adieu. Thank you for tuning in to 30 Minutes of Power. We hope and pray that you are an empowered person using your power to go out and empower others. Luann Suhr, everybody, thank you again for coming on the show. And you can see her August 30th at the Indie Author Fest, Baldwin Harbor, New York. Be there or be square. Or you can buy her book, which is also kind of squarish. Ooh, we like that. I think it's a rectangle, though.
It's definitely a rectangle.
See, don't know shapes and I don't know countries. All right, everybody. Thank you for tuning in to 30 Minutes of Power. We hope you found today's episode informative and inspiring. To stay connected with us and continue the conversation, follow us on Instagram at 30 Minutes of Power or email us at azironsharpensiron@gmail.com. Don't forget to visit our website at azisi.org to learn more about our mission and how you can get involved. Remember, your power can make a difference in the world. Let's be folks out there using our power to empower others.
30 minutes of power.